The music industry is often seen as a microcosm of the world, reflecting the complexities and challenges faced in various sectors. Standing for something, especially for goodness and truth, inevitably invites resistance, whether you're in the pharmaceutical industry or the entertainment business. Balancing these pressures while maintaining a public image is no easy feat. Lauryn Hill is finally speaking out about how the music industry attempted to exploit and, in her words, sacrifice her, leading to her sudden withdrawal from the public eye. If you think you know the dark side of Hollywood, you haven't heard anything until you've heard Lauryn's story. After releasing her groundbreaking album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, she was at the peak of her career. But then, she seemingly vanished. Many have speculated that this was due to exploitation by the industry and a lack of support from her fellow Fugees members when she needed it most. However, Lauryn now reveals that the truth goes much deeper than anyone realized. So, did the music industry really try to sacrifice Lauryn Hill? Were her Fugees bandmates involved in what happened to her? Let's explore this complex and deeply personal narrative. Lauryn Hill is undeniably one of the most influential artists of all time, not just in hip-hop and R&B, but across all genres. From a young age, Lauryn was setting records that many artists today are still striving to match. What distinguished her from other female MCs was not only her extraordinary talent, she was a true musical genius, but also her grace, charisma, and the powerful political messages she infused into her work. Rolling Stone once described her as a quadruple threat, recognizing her skills as a rapper, world-class singer, songwriter, and producer. To fully appreciate Lauryn's musical brilliance, let's take a trip down memory lane. Born to Valerie Hill, a teacher, and Mal Hill, a computer and management consultant, Lauryn was raised in South Orange, New Jersey. From a young age, she was surrounded by music. Her mother played the piano, and her father had a beautiful singing voice. Lauryn's early influences included legends like Curtis Mayfield, Stevie Wonder, Aretha Franklin, Gladys Knight, and Marvin Gaye. Immersed in this rich musical environment, Lauryn knew from a young age that she was destined to be an entertainer. At just 13 years old, Lauryn performed at Showtime at the Apollo. The audience was harsh, booing her off the stage, but she persevered and finished her performance. Although she broke down in tears afterward, her mother, Valerie, gave her some tough love. She told Lauryn that if she was going to cry every time the crowd didn't react as she hoped, then maybe show business wasn't the right path for her. But Lauryn was undeterred. She was determined to achieve her dreams, no matter the obstacles. Lauryn's big break came during her freshman year of high school when a mutual friend introduced her to Praz, who was looking for a vocalist to join a new music group he was forming. Lauryn, along with Praz and another female vocalist, began their musical journey under the name Translator Crew. Eventually, the third member was replaced by Praz's cousin, Wyclef Jean, and the group started performing at local events and high school talent shows. As her music career began to take shape, Lauryn also ventured into acting. In 1991, Lauryn and Praz appeared in MC Lyte's off-Broadway hip-hop rendition of Shakespeare's Twelfth Night. It was during this time that an agent spotted Lauryn and began helping her land more acting roles. Later that year, Lauryn joined the cast of the soap opera As the World Turns, playing troubled teen Kira Johnson. In 1993, she starred alongside Whoopi Goldberg in Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit, where she performed memorable renditions of His Eye is on the Sparrow and Joyful, Joyful. In 1993, Praz, Lauryn, and Wyclef rebranded their group as the Fugees, a name derived from refugees, a term often used derogatorily to describe Haitian Americans. Around this time, Lauryn and Wyclef began dating, although their relationship was complicated by the fact that Wyclef had been interested in Lauryn for years, even though there was a significant age difference between them. When Lauryn was 18, Wyclef was around 26, and it later emerged that their relationship had been kept under wraps for years before they finally went public. Wyclef allegedly got closer to Lauryn under the guise of mentorship, knowing that Praz would disapprove if he knew the truth. Praz had even said that he took Lauryn under his wing at a young age, around 12 or 13, and promised her mother that he would look out for her. Despite this, Wyclef and Lauryn began a secret relationship, which only became public once Lauryn turned 18. In 1994, the Fugees released their debut album Blunted on Reality. Although the album didn't perform well commercially and received mixed reviews from critics, Lauryn's talent shone through, particularly in her verse on the track Some Seek Stardom. By 1996, the Fugees had released their second album, The Score, which was a massive improvement over their debut. The album topped the Billboard 200 and remained in the top 10 for over 6 months. It sold over 20 million copies worldwide and won a Grammy for Best Rap Album. The Score was later included in Rolling Stone's list of the 500 greatest albums of all time. Lauryn's rendition of Killing Me Softly became the group's breakout hit. As Lauryn's star continued to rise, there was growing pressure on her to leave the Fugees and pursue a solo career. However, Lauryn remained fiercely loyal to the group. In the summer of 1996, she met Rowan Marley, Bob Marley's son, and began dating him, using the relationship as a way to distance herself from Wyclef. When Lauryn became pregnant, there was initial confusion about whether the child was Wyclef's or Rowan's, but Lauryn eventually made it clear that Rowan was the father, effectively ending her relationship with Wyclef. In 1997, the Fugees disbanded to focus on solo projects. However, Lauryn was surprised to find that Wyclef didn't offer her the same support she had given the group over the years. Pras mentioned in an interview that Lauryn had turned down lucrative opportunities, like a Pepsi commercial, because she insisted on including the other members of the Fugees. When she didn't receive the same support in return, it understandably led to feelings of animosity and bitterness. In 1998, Lauryn released her debut solo album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, to widespread critical acclaim. The album was a genre-blending masterpiece, seamlessly incorporating elements of R&B, doo-wop, pop, hip-hop, and reggae. It was a defining moment in Lauryn's career, solidifying her place as one of the greatest artists of all time. In just 1 week, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill sold an astounding 423,000 copies and would go on to sell 10 million copies in the US and 20 million worldwide. The album earned Lauryn 10 Grammy nominations and 5 wins, making her the first woman to achieve such a feat in a single night. It's no surprise that Miseducation has been featured on numerous best album lists, including Rolling Stone's 500 greatest albums of all time. With the records it set, Lauryn Hill firmly established herself as one of the greatest musicians of all time. One would expect that Lauryn and her management would quickly capitalize on the album's success to release more projects and secure lucrative deals. However, instead of soaring to even greater heights, Lauryn's career took a dramatic downward turn. It all started in 1998 when she was hit with a lawsuit by Newark, claiming they had contributed to many of the songs on Miseducation but had not received proper credit. Columbia Records, Lauryn's label, advised her to settle out of court, but Lauryn resisted, believing that settling would imply guilt and damaged her credibility. Unfortunately, she eventually had to agree to a $5 million settlement, which severely affected her confidence. Friends and close associates of Lauryn believed that the lawsuit hit her so hard because she saw everyone she worked with as family and always tried to treat them fairly. The fact that they turned around and sued her left her feeling betrayed and unable to trust anyone. After this incident, those close to her noticed that Lauryn lost interest in returning to the music business. In a 2003 article by Rolling Stone, it was revealed that Lauryn turned down several high-profile movie roles, including parts in Charlie's Angels, The Bourne Identity, The Mexican, and The Matrix. It was becoming apparent that the pressures of success were taking a toll on her, leading to struggles with her mental health. Lauryn herself confirmed these struggles in 2001 when she recorded her MTV Unplugged 2.0. Although the project didn't achieve commercial success, those who listened to it found it to be a raw and honest reflection of what Lauryn was going through at the time. In the recording, Lauryn breaks down in tears, saying, "I'm crazy and deranged. I'm emotionally unstable. I used to get dressed for y'all, I don't do that anymore. I used to be a performer, and I really don't consider myself a performer anymore. I had created this public persona, this public illusion, and it held me hostage. I couldn't be a real person because you're too afraid of what your public will say. At that point, I had to do some dying." This stark contrast between the polished, confident artist who released Miseducation and the struggling woman who could barely hold back her tears in the studio left many wondering what had caused such a dramatic change. Many attributed Lauryn's decline to her tumultuous love life, particularly her relationship with Wyclef Jean. Wyclef later admitted that his relationship with Lauryn was a significant factor in the Fugees' breakup, as it created tension within the group. Even after marrying his wife, Claudinette, Wyclef continued his affair with Lauryn, further complicating matters. Pras, another member of the Fugees, was reportedly unhappy about the relationship, which only added to the group's internal conflict. However, instead of acknowledging his role in Lauryn's downfall, Wyclef seemed to place all the blame on her, portraying her as unstable and erratic. In his autobiography, Wyclef wrote, "I was married and Lauryn and I were having an affair, but she led me to believe she wasn't involved with anyone else. We even had an argument over whether her firstborn was mine. At that point, I was like, yo, this is my baby, so why am I seeing another man in this situation?" It was a mess. The intensity of their fights, which Wyclef mentioned in his autobiography, raised eyebrows among fans. What struck them most was Wyclef's apparent unwillingness to take any responsibility for his part in the situation, instead painting Lauryn as the problem. This led to speculation that Hollywood, and the music industry in general, often label people as crazy when they begin to challenge the status quo. Dave Chappelle famously pointed out how the industry dismisses those who speak out, citing examples like Cat Williams, Taryn Manning, and Rose McGowan, all of whom were branded as crazy after they started calling out the industry's dark side. This brings us to another theory surrounding Lauryn Hill, that she was sacrificed by Hollywood. Allegedly, some powerful figures in the industry were not pleased with the political messages in her music and speeches, making her a prime target for what some refer to as Hollyweird sacrifices. Lauryn herself hinted at this in an interview, saying, "The music industry is just a microcosm of the world. So whenever you stand for something, and you stand for goodness and truth, you will always get resistance, that's period. Whether you're in the pharmaceutical industry, the record industry, or whatever. Whenever you stand for truth and for the service of others. See, I could make money very easily. I could make records that are self-indulgent and basically self-promote me. I could do that, promote myself. But in order to promote something higher, I feel now, at the ripe old age of 25, that the only thing I can do is serve others." End of quote. Lauryn's decision to prioritize truth and service over fame and fortune put her at odds with an industry that thrives on self-indulgence and superficiality. This tension came to a head during her infamous rant against the Catholic Church at the 2003 Christmas concert at the Vatican. Lauryn Hill shocked everyone during her performance at the Vatican's 2003 Christmas concert when she took the stage not to celebrate, but to protest the child abuse scandals that had plagued the Catholic Church. She delivered a scathing speech, saying, "I'm sorry if I am about to offend some of you, but I did not accept my invitation to celebrate with you the birth of Christ. Instead, I ask you why you are not in mourning for him in this place." Lauryn went on to call out church leaders for their corruption and exploitation, urging them to repent. Her rant lasted for several minutes, and despite the backlash, Lauryn stood by every word. This bold move led many to speculate that Lauryn was either out of her mind or under the influence of something. Allegedly, her career was effectively blackballed after that moment. It wouldn't have been the first time that an artist faced severe consequences for challenging the Catholic Church. Sinead O'Connor experienced a similar fate after she tore up a photo of the Pope in protest. Some people also pointed fingers at Lauryn's increasing closeness with Brother Anthony, a controversial spiritual advisor she met in 2001. Lauryn's friends believed that Brother Anthony had a significant, and possibly negative, influence on her. After she started spending time with him, Lauryn stopped doing interviews, wearing makeup, or even appearing in public. She began attending Bible studies and meetings organized by Brother Anthony up to 5 times a week and distanced herself from her friends. Things took an even stranger turn when Lauryn fired everyone on her team, a decision many believe was heavily influenced by Brother Anthony. According to insiders, Lauryn's friends felt that Brother Anthony was taking advantage of her vulnerability. He reportedly encouraged her to give up her money, isolate herself, and cut ties with almost everyone in her life. Amidst all this, there are still those who believe that Lauryn's downfall could have been prevented if the people closest to her had taken better care of her when she needed them most. Lauryn herself seems to have believed that she was deliberately sacrificed by those around her. In a 2004 interview with Trace magazine, she opened up about her tumultuous relationship with Wyclef Jean, suggesting that he was aggressive, controlling, and manipulative. Lauryn stated, "The Fugees was a conspiracy to control, to manipulate, and to encourage dependence. I took a lot of abuse that many people would not have taken in these circumstances. As a young woman, I saw the best in everyone, but I did not see the lust and insecurities of men. I discovered what a lie was and how lies manifested themselves." Pras, another member of the Fugees, also blamed Wyclef for much of what happened to Lauryn, as well as for the eventual breakup of the group. He said, "He's the cancer of the Fugees, he's the cancer, you can quote me on that. He's the reason why it got wrecked to begin with. He's the reason why it's not fixed." When asked if he thought Wyclef was responsible for Lauryn's troubles, Pras replied, "Maybe, but not directly." It was clear that Pras had strong feelings about the situation, even if he wasn't willing to say everything that was on his mind. In 2021, Lauryn did an interview for Rolling Stone's 500 Greatest Albums podcast, where she explained why she stepped away from the spotlight, citing the need to protect herself and her family from the dark and negative energy she encountered in the industry. "I sacrificed the quality of my life to help people experience something that had been unreachable before then. When I saw people struggle to appreciate what that took, I had to pull back and make sure I and my family were safe and good. I'm still doing that." Lauryn added, "The celebrity is often treated like a sacrifice, the fatted calf then boxed in and harshly judged for very normal and natural responses to abnormal circumstances. Many fans interpreted this to mean that Lauryn had witnessed things in the industry that frightened her, leading her to withdraw from the limelight to protect her life." As we unravel Lauryn Hill's story, it becomes clear that the price of standing for truth in an industry fueled by power and deception is higher than most of us can imagine. What do you think? Was Lauryn Hill deliberately sacrificed by those around her, or did she simply choose to walk away? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more deep dives into the real stories behind the music.